Good morning and happy Friday. I saw something really interesting and great yesterday. I watch CNBC pretty much every morning, especially Jim Kramer's show that starts at 8 o'clock Central Time, right before the market opens. I don't own stocks anymore. I'm not in the stock market anymore. My wife is, but I am not. All my money is in real estate. But CNBC gives you a really good, roundup as to what's going on without having a political bent one way or the other. It's a business bent, which, you know, kind of leans one direction on certain things and another direction on other things. But Jim Cramer talking about the stock market and because of that, the world and world politics and world geoeconomical issues is honestly incredibly informed and just incredibly entertaining. I love watching him right before I head out to work. But he gives advice. He gives advice on what to do with your money, and he takes it incredibly seriously. He works ridiculously hard. I mean, the guy only sleeps about 3 hours a night. And Facebook yesterday came out with, or the day before yesterday, did their quarterly conference call and essentially told everybody that they're spending themselves completely into the ground, that they're taking all of their cash flow plus burning billions of dollars on the metaverse, which may or may not work out. But Kramer has been telling everyone that he believes in this management team, and he believes in Mark Zuckerberg, and he believes that they're going to figure it out, and you should hang in there with this company and with this stock. And the management team isn't showing any discipline. What they're doing may or may not work out for the company. Who knows? But it's definitely not going to work out for the company's stock price, which is what Kramer's worried about. He's worried about your money and your investing. So he came on the air yesterday and was incredibly vulnerable and almost choked up, quite frankly, and apologized to the people that watched the show. And he said, "Look, I trusted this team that they would do the right thing when it comes to taking care of their shareholders, because that's technically who they work for." And they're not doing that. And I got it wrong, and I apologize. It was a really, really amazing moment because, this is a man that doesn't need to be doing anything. I mean, he is very, very independently wealthy. He could go hang out on somebody's island for the rest of his life and never bother. And yet he really, really works incredibly hard and has 40 years of experience to try to help other people get to the financial independence that they want and to make good choices with regards to the stock market. And it shows a couple of things. Number one, that even if you've been doing something for 40 years and you're one of the best, you can still get stuff wrong and still make mistakes. But number two, it shows that if you want to communicate with people, you got to be genuine. You got to be authentic. You got to be yourself. The people that figure out how to really lead and influence, good or bad, are authentic. They're authentic about who they are and what their mission, what their methodology, what their um, reality is. And Kramer did that. And if you want to get up and influence people, if you want to influence your children, if you want to influence your spouse, if you want to influence your boss, if you want to influence your coworkers, you got to come from a place of being genuine. I saw that yesterday, and then this morning I popped on as I was doing part of my morning routine. Keith Ferrazzi was on, and I love listening to Keith's stuff. And it was the same message that he can come at you from two completely different messages. He can come at you and say, I graduated from Yale and then got an MBA from Harvard. And he goes, and I can tell you all of those things. He goes, or I could tell you that, my parents were immigrants and my mother cleaned houses and my dad was a steel worker and they wanted the best for their child. So I was a scholarship kid to private schools, and that's how I got into those schools. That's two completely different ways to resonate with people. And he goes, depending upon the room that I'm in, I've got to know how to connect with those people. But either one of those approaches are genuine because they're both completely true. So Friday, as you're taking stock of your week and as you're looking at, the things that you want to accomplish today, take a look. And anytime that you want to talk to somebody in a way where you really want to connect with them, always remember to come from the heart. When we get stuck in our head, we're dead. When we get stuck in our heart, that's when we can really make things happen. So if you want to really influence somebody in a direction, you got to come from the heart and you got to be genuine. If you That doesn't guarantee that you're going to influence them. Genuineness doesn't guarantee your outcome, but lack of genuineness guarantees your failure. So always come from that place when it comes time to talk to anybody about anything. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.